So hey guys, welcome to my Saturday ride, or one of my Saturday rides this week. So it's near the end of October. We finally got a taste of some winterish weather. We got some snow past 48 hours, but before that it was actually above average temperature-wise. Like last week, I actually wore shorts in the afternoon. I rode in shorts 3 times last week. So the ground is really warm. The ground hasn't had time to cool off, so the snow definitely isn't sticking around because it's not cold enough. So we're gonna do a mixed ride today. Some gravel road. We're going to climb what's considered climbing where I live, climb to kind of a high point and then descend back down. That'll be a mix of pavement and gravel roads, and then I'll come down from that high point and then we'll go check out some trails. Just get my body and extremities used to colder temps because it's been above seasonal for a while. So Saturday we'll probably do 4 hours total today, but I'll do a 2-hour ride here and then probably go do a 2-hour night ride where we'll go ride trails. So as you can hear, I'm running studded tires. Don't need them here in the city, but once we get out in the country, might actually need them. Because the area here, like we're right beside Lake Superior, and I've said before in videos that it's such a large body of water. It is a climate moderator. So in the summertime it keeps things cooler. In the wintertime it keeps things warmer because there's so much water. It takes a long time for it to heat up and a long time for it to cool down. So right now the lake is starting to have its moderating effect of keeping things warmer. So this snow initially started as rain, and then it got cold enough it turned to snow. But it's warmer around the lake, so everything's melted. Like as the crow flies, we're literally 2 kilometers from the shore of Lake Superior right now. But when you move away from Lake Superior, you actually start gaining a fair bit of elevation for the middle of Canada. Like this area is referred to as the hilliest part of Canada between the Laurentians in Quebec and the Rocky Mountains. So you do 2 things. You move away from Lake Superior and you gain elevation. So you just kind of have to get 10-15 kilometers outside of town. And this time of year usually they have way more snow, because if it was raining here initially, it was already snow up there, and the moderating effect is less, so the air temperature there should be colder. So where we're going, there might be more snow. There might be snow on the roads, so there could be ice. So we'll start doing a little bit of off-roading here to get us across town, so we don't have to ride on pavement as much with these studded tires. So these are actually wire bead studded Dillinger 4s. I also have a pair of Kevlar beaded studded Dillinger 5s that I've had for I think almost 3 years, and I got what I think is a good deal on these. So I got this pair of wire bead studded Dillinger 4s for less than what a single studded Kevlar beaded Dillinger 5 would cost. So I kind of bought these strictly for commuting since, well, not strictly, but mostly for commuting. Since I no longer have my Krampus, my Willier 29 Plus bike is too nice to submit to winter conditions, and the suspension fork is going to be destroyed in winter conditions. So it looks like I'll be doing primarily, once true winter conditions hit, the majority of my commuting on this bike. I mean, I have my Celsa Fargos, and yeah, I'll use them a little bit in winter when conditions are firm and hard packed, and I have actually 3 different studded tires that I can use on my Fargo. But what ends up happening is, my ride to work, you get a mix. So you could have side streets that are unplowed and gnarly and bumpy, and where a studded fat bike handles it best, and then you'll have totally hard packed snow and ice on the trails and bike paths, and then you'll have lots of exposed pavement on the main streets that I have to deal with. So lots of times on those side streets, a fat bike with studded tires is the most comfortable, confidence-inspiring bike to use. So even though I need it for just small sections, I'll deal with the disadvantages the rest of the time to be able to ride confidently on those side streets. So these are Dillinger 4s, so essentially 4-inch mounted on a 100mm wide rim. I mean, the Moonlander and this rim, the 100mm clown shoe, was really designed for 4.8-inch tires. So it'll be interesting to see what this bike, what these tires are like on such a wide rim. Right now I got them pumped up really, really high pressure because they're going to be on roads a large percentage of the time. But once we do get to the actual trail system that we're going to do the last quarter-ish of this ride, I'll need to lower the tires to a off-road air pressure. Don't really need it here because these trails are smooth, but where we're going, we're going to definitely have to lower the tire pressure. So it'll be interesting to see how that low tire pressure works with 100mm rims, the 4-inch tire. So I'm impressed. I've seen 2 people with dogs, and they both had them on leashes. Usually it's like the Wild West in here. We're in the city, but people come in here and feel entitled that they don't have to have their dogs on leashes when there's signage pretty much every entrance that says you have to have your dog on a leash in here. Hello. This bike feels great out of the saddle, like the old school riding position on this, longer and more forwards. This bike feels great out of the saddle. My Willier feels not as good out of the saddle because it's the modern, slack, sitting upright further back. There's definitely good and bad to both. Alright, so now we start gaining altitude by Thunder Bay standards. We got a north wind, but it's nothing compared to what we were dealing with the past few days. Yesterday it was 50km/h wind gusts, and the day before that like 70km/h wind gusts. So I'm running clipless pedals. Today I've got Louis Garneau. I think it's the LS100 insulated cycling shoe. It's like a lighter weight insulated shoe. It works down to, say, to wear the shoe on its own. I can use it down to, say, minus 10 Celsius for an hour with no covers. So it's not a hardcore winter shoe, but for my commute, even if it's like stupid cold, like minus 20, minus 30, which it is plenty of times on my ride to work, I can wear these with just some sort of shoe cover, and 45 minutes or so it takes me to get to work, my feet survive and I get the performance benefits of clipless. So this road's been just recently repaved. It's a super fun road on a road bike. It's a good challenging amount of uphill and it's fun to hammer it, and then on the way back it's super fast on the way back. But there was a section a couple K long where the pavement was just atrocious. So on the way down it was really annoying because you actually had to avoid shit. But now it's been resurfaced. Beautiful new pavement. Hopefully they did a good job and the horrible winter conditions we get don't destroy it early. Okay, we're getting our first bit of gravel road. So we're crisscrossing our way up. So it adds some extra distance. Like if we were to just keep following the road to the left, it's just all paved, but this way allows us to crisscross our way up and get some gravel roads on every criss and cross. Is that how it works? Out to some pavement. This is Highway 527 to Armstrong, Ontario, so it's a dead-end highway. It ends at the community. So yesterday, about 60K out this way, they got 15 centimeters of snow. An ambulance went off the highway. So the temperature is minus 2.3 Celsius. Now we're gaining more elevation. Alright, so we're a bit higher than that first gravel road. So now we're crossing a second gravel road, and now that little extra bit of elevation is now snow covered. Keep an eye on this lens because it's going to get splashed with mud. Whoa. One-lane bridge, you know you're in the country when. So now we're going to gain some more elevation. We'll see, once we get to the high point, I'll check the temperature, see if it's much colder once we get to the top. Where I live, you could say, is mildly mountainous. I wouldn't necessarily call where we live truly mountainous, but a decent amount of climbing here. So now we're getting further out country, away from Lake Superior, so now we're even getting snow encroaching on the road, even there. So temperatures are colder out here, and we're, as the crow flies, we're like maybe 10 kilometers from Lake Superior right now. So it's the combination of just moving away that distance and the sudden gain of an elevation. The climate's different out here, only 10k away from Lake Superior. Okay, that little extra bit of elevation gain right there. Now look how much extra snow is on the road. Picture, steep uphill. Hopefully nobody's coming up behind us. I don't know if I'll put all of these on Instagram, but I'll definitely put them all on the Strava for the ride, since you can just upload pictures. That's beautiful too. I wonder if the mic will stand up. Apparently it will. Workout quality of this ride is going down because of all this stopping, but no big deal. You know what? It's end of October, and relax a little bit, have some fun, and start building for next season. Man, that's awesome too. Look at that, just all the snow is just filled in all the little gaps. This is another super steep paved section, one of the steepest paved sections in the area. Probably 16%. So the top of this is going to be, I think it'll be the high point of our ride today. Let's check the temperature. Minus 3.3 Celsius out here. So you know what, we're not actually going to go off-roading on this ride because we're doing a second ride tonight. That's going to be an off-road ride. So this is going to be basically pavement gravel road ride. So we're at our high point. We're going to go down, along downhill, long for around here, gravel downhill, and then we're going to turn around, come back up, and there's another gravel road we can take. Add distance to this ride, and there's a little bit of climbing and some really fun downhilling on it. Whoa, so there was a scenario where, because we're running much tire pressure, like 20 something psi in these things, that it got sketchy there. Bike started squirming around because there's some really deep snow there that got partially packed down by car tire tracks. But then this bike cuts through it a little bit and starts squirming, which wouldn't have happened if we had lowered the tire pressure for snow, for actual flotation. Right now, our air pressure does not help with flotation. Our air pressure is about low rolling resistance on firm surfaces. Got to be careful going down this because we might experience that again. I don't want to lower my tire pressure because we have still tons of pavement to deal with. Running a single chain ring is a disadvantage. We're spun out. And we're also running, like I had 4.8 Sterling Nards on this. Those tires are freaking huge. I should have actually, when I was putting these on, at the shop I deal with, I should have taken a picture of the difference. Like, these things are tiny compared to 4.8 inch Nards. So the Nards actually, the 4.8 Nards, I don't think I was spun out till close to almost 40k an hour. But with this smaller diameter on these tires, we're spun out at like 35, 36k an hour, which is no big deal in full-on winter conditions, because obviously you're not going to hit that often. But on really fast downhills, you're going to be spun out sooner. Oh, one-lane bridge and motor vehicle coming this way. I got there first. Okay, so we're going to turn around here. We're going to go back up that hill and take another road. Okay, so first battery died. Only lasted about an hour. So I don't know if that's... I bought some new batteries last fall, I guess it was. And as you know, I haven't been making many videos, so the batteries sat for long periods of time, not being used, which I think damaged the life of them. So I got a GoPro Hero 3 Plus. I got a couple older, I have a GoPro Hero 2, and then just a GoPro Hero HD, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to use those older cameras anymore. So I'm really interested in that new GoPro mechanical stabilizer. But of course it only works with the 4 newer, so if I got one I'd still have to get another camera. My buddy has a Hero 5 Black that he said he'd sell me, but he didn't tell me the price. He doesn't use it that much. But then, so I'd have to buy some more batteries for that. And then that stabilizer's super cool, but the fatal flaw for vlogging is it has an internal battery. It says it's good for an hour, 45 minutes. So once the battery dies on it, you're done. But I still might get one because it'd be good for doing like clips. I can do clips of our trails here. Mechanically stabilized clips. And I can still use it on shorter vlogs. Like the battery would die on this ride. Because we'll be out for over 2 hours as it's going now. So we'll see. My car also needs a bunch of work. I need all new tires, needs work on the suspension, some work on the brakes. And I barely drive my car. So the longer it sits, the worse it's all gonna get for the car. So I need to get that thing in good running order. So the other thing I could do, used to do, I haven't done, didn't do last winter, is throw this bike in a car and drive 30 minutes to an hour out of town and do some awesome rides out on snowmobile trails, country snow-covered roads. There's some absolutely beautiful riding that can be done. There's another beautiful shot. Man, we're stopping a lot on this ride. Nice thing about that frame bag is it's keeping everything clean. My water bottle is staying clean. My phone is staying clean. Oh, I think it's gonna be a nice picture. Now my cleats are clogged. I have to unclog them. I'm using older, I think 2nd generation Time pedals that still work with the new cleats. Notice they not as easy to get into with snow as the latest generation, which I have most of. Only have one pair of these older Times. Take another picture there while we're riding. Pick and choose the good ones. Now we're on North Branch Road. I think now we even go higher than our previous high point. I'll put the Strava link for this ride in the info box as well. You'll be able to see the ride elevation profile. So this is definitely ice now that we're dealing with, so thank goodness we use extended tires. And these 4s should grip better than the 5s because it's a narrower tire, so it'll put more pressure on the studs than my Dillinger 5s. I'll save my 5s for major snow where emphasis is on flotation. We only had one flotation related issue today. We almost wiped out because of it, but I'm not going to adjust my tire pressure because of it. Lowering the pressure would also make these studs grip less. Another really steep section. Now we're nearing the highest point, so now total winter wonderland up here. In the last few days of October in Thunder Bay, Ontario. over pavement the rest of the way home. I'm actually starting to get cold. I've got basically a shell jacket on, and I have like a heavier weight, mid to heavyweight long underwear top on, and over top of that I have a lightweight polypropylene top, and then over that I have a shell. What's the temperature now? Temperature's minus 4.5, so it's the coldest it's been on the ride. Try and get a picture of that. Okay, now it's just mostly gradual downhill pedal fast home.